Hello, everyone. So, if you're listening to this right now, I want you to know that you're going to get value for your time, for your data, and ultimately, your perspective is going to be engineered. So, on this course, we are learning 5 ways to monetize your knowledge. So, very quickly, I'm going to be scrolling through my slides and I'll be explaining the points I have to share with us. So, if you remember, I shared some links to some videos on my YouTube channel. I would advise you to pause this audio and go watch it if you get a wholesome perspective to what I'm about to talk about. If you want to get the best from this audio, you need to watch those videos on YouTube. Kindly check my YouTube channel, Joanaiyegbusi, for how to monetize your knowledge and why you need to monetize your knowledge. So, very quickly, we are going to be diving into this course. As we all know, the world is changing. A lot is happening really, really fast, and the nature of jobs is going to change. Look at the advent of COVID 19. This single phenomenon, I call it, okay, a phenomenon might be too much of a good thing to call it, but whatever it is we want to call it, this COVID 19 has actually altered a whole lot in the human life. It was going to happen anyway, but there is kind of a fast track to it. Okay, before now, people used to have live events, but nobody really paid a lot of attention to them because people would rather hold meetings offline, on site, instead of online. The reason why church services have their services online and events that we're supposed to hold physically or on site have now been moved to an online conference, meeting, or seminar, or webinar, or whatever the case may be, is because COVID 19 made policymakers to restrict movement. And up until now that I'm recording this voice note, no cure, no vaccine has been found for it. And as long as people remain at home, the whole world is losing money. There's global recession. So eventually, it's either somehow, some way, they find a way to allow people to still move, do their businesses, but large gatherings will no longer be the same. It can never be as it used to be. Again, no matter what happens, even after a vaccine is found, people have found easier and better ways to do things. For example, in a place like Lagos where there's so much traffic, some people would actually have to start working remotely. That will save a lot of people from the traffic um, problem. Let me call it problem. Yeah, it will save a lot of people from the crisis a lot of people experience from traffic. It would also save people from the expenses they spend having to ply, having to transport themselves from their houses to their various workspace. And for companies who might want to reduce the salaries of their staff in order to be able to combat the global recession that is ongoing as a result of the lockdown, one of the things companies can consider is to allow people work from home so that they would not have much to spend since their salaries will be reduced. So this shows that a lot of people will be on their devices, a lot of people will be online, a lot of things will be happening online because people who would work remotely would have to use their devices and they'll be online. And one of the things that happen online is digital marketing. And for digital marketing, you cannot really control it in the sense that the apps and the appliances we're using have some privacy and policy settings that allows them to pop up ads on your device. So people pay for these things and then they show up what they do, and so you have to watch it. Okay, even if you don't click on it, in a way they've actually advertised themselves to you. You've seen their name, you've seen what they do, you've seen what they are doing. You just did not watch it through. But in any way and in any case, they've been able to reach you. And you already know that that brand somehow, somewhere exists. And if peradventure you'd ever need your service, someday they will pop up again. You remember their name, you search for them, and you make use of their service. So that means if you're going to be relevant in your business in the nearest future, you've got to have a niche online. And this audio is just about just one aspect of what you can leverage online, just one aspect of how you can monetize your knowledge. And it is by selling online courses. And if you've watched the video I talked about, you're going to see that there is no one that does not have something to sell. So watch the video and you'll understand it better. So I'll be moving to my next slide. Identify a value you can offer. That's the first thing you have to do. You need to identify what kind of course you can sell. You need to identify something you can stay at. Okay, I am a brand expert. Before now, I was an item branding expert. But in reinventing my business, I decided not to brand items alone, but have now decided to venture. I have now decided to venture into branding of businesses, which is why this is happening today. So you need to identify a value you can offer, not just as a one-time course, but something you can really branch off from. Okay, I gave an example of a palm tree. From a palm tree, you can actually have brooms, palm wine, palm oil, soap, and a lot of things. So it's a palm tree, but you can diversify into several things using just a palm tree. So you need to identify the value you can offer, a singular value, and how you can diversify that one singular value. It's not advisable that you plunge into everything. No, that is not a proper way to start up. Look at Amazon, for example. Amazon started off as a company that was selling books. They did not start off as a company that was selling everything. They were known for one thing first, and then they began to diversify. And let me bring this home. Take a look at Dangote. Dangote did not start as a company that was selling all it now sells. It started off with one thing and began to diversify subsequently. So the same way, you need to start off with one thing and find out how to diversify that into several things. Eventually, you should not do things that are too far from what your business or brand represents. So identify a value you can offer. So if I were you, I'm going to get my pen and paper. Whatever comes to your mind right now, you can pen it down, or you could listen to this again, or have yourself a quiet time and pen down the value you can offer. My next slide. Identify the audience for the value you can offer. It's very important for you to know that you cannot serve everybody. Everybody will not even like you. And people need to buy into you as a person before they can buy what you have to offer, whether as a product or as a service. So it's important that you know that you cannot serve everyone. So whenever some people cannot afford, or whenever some people do not see the value in what you have to offer, just remind yourself, these people are not for me. So you just dust yourself up and move on to the next client who is able to see the value you can offer and will be willing to pay for it. It's very, very important because I've seen a lot of people enacting efforts where their effort is not required. There's a popular quote that goes like this: don't go where you're tolerated, go where you're celebrated. So, the business where you can brand that is, don't go where people do not value what you have to offer. Go where people value what you have to offer because they are the ones who will pay for it. There are some people you go after and go after and go after. I'm not saying you should not be persistent. Yeah, there is a place for that. In fact, every entrepreneur must learn to be a persistent person. But however, you need to know when to give up because there are some people you're giving 75% of your efforts to. That if you are able to invest that same 75% of effort into five other persons, they will give you the same, if not more, interest that just that one person you've been investing 75% of your energy on would have given. So don't use 75% of your energy on just one person or a group of persons. If you realize that they do not discern your value, it is time to make a turn. It is time to make a shift. Yes, you should try, but then do not try at the expense of other potential clients. That's the ballpoint. That is what I'm trying to hit at, and I hope you're getting it. So please identify your audience. Identify your audience. It is very important because the value you want to offer is not for everyone. For example, let's say you want to start selling a course on how to recover from an experience. Maybe you've been raped before and you're able to overcome the bitterness, the trauma, and all, and you want to sell a course to help people who have also been raped before. That course is not for everyone because everyone has not been raped. But there are people who have been raped and are looking for ways to get over the trauma, the bitterness, and the pain they're going through. So, people like that, you do not even have to do a lot of work. They are going to grab their copies really fast. So, I'll be moving on to my next slide. Do a cost valuation of the value you intend to offer. Now, it's important you know the value of the course you want to offer in the marketplace. Ask yourself, do a research. You can check Google, check statistics where you need to, and make your final conclusions. It's important you know the valuation of your product or service so that you don't overcost your product or undercost your product. You don't overprice your product or underprice your product. So, for example, there are products where, okay, let me give an example. Let's say you want to teach how to do makeup. Don't start a course that will cost 40,000 naira to teach makeup because there are people who are teaching makeup for 2,000 naira. It's very, very rare for someone to leave a person who will be offering the same course you want to sell at 40,000 naira, to leave somebody that wants to offer that same course for 2,000 naira, especially in these times that we are in. People want to buy essential products only. So if what you're selling is a non-essential product, that is already a disadvantage for this time because only very, very few people are ready to buy non-essential products. A lot of people are actually looking for ways to invest their savings or whatever they have left to sustain themselves, to be able to feed well, stay in good health, be able to move around, and just be able to get the necessary things they need for everyday easy life. So if you're selling a non-essential product, you need to think about how to do it. And I talked about this in my video, the YouTube video I asked you to watch, why you should monetize your knowledge and how to monetize your knowledge. There are videos on it on my YouTube channel. Watch them to get more on this. So I'll be moving to my next slide. Create a structure that will work for your plan. Now, you might be a worker, you might have a job you're doing, you might even have a business you're running. It's important you create a structure that will work for your plan. There are courses you'll be doing or you'll be taking or teaching that can run off. You can exhaust the curriculum at the teaching. At one time, you can exhaust the entire curriculum when you teach your students once. Some of them, you may have to teach them over weeks, over months. or you may have to create a plan that will be suitable for your students. So they are the ones who will decide when they want to start and when they want to finish, or you could be the one to time it and say, okay, this course is running for 2 weeks, this course is running for 2 days, it's running for 5 days. So you need to create a structure, a time structure, and mental structure that would work for your plan. So you are the one that know the course you want to sell. So you need to create a structure that would work for your plan. You need to create the, I'm looking for the right word to define what I'm about to say. You need to create the right frame of work, the right framework, the right frame of work, the right framework, whichever one you want to call it. You need to create the right framework that is comfortable for you and will not be stressful on your clients or students. Something that will be easy for them to navigate around, something that shows that you have their choice at heart, something that makes sure that their choices is being respected. So you just create a structure that will work for you. So my next slide is to create a payment platform. Yes, because since you're selling this course, you need to create an online payment platform. And we have PayPal, we have Paystack, we have Payoneer. So these are platforms that we as Nigerians can leverage on. Stripe account is for people in the US. So there are lots of interstate, intercontinent, international payment platform. So you do a research on that and find the one that's comfortable for you, get an account with them, and then you find a way to use them with your product or course. So the next slide is on getting a teaching platform. Yeah, so having done all we've talked about, you need to think of the platform or the tools you'd like to use for what you want to teach. So let's say you are really, really starting off on zero, like you have nothing, no cash or nothing, but at least you're on WhatsApp. So you can actually start a class on WhatsApp. I am teaching a course on animation, which is to help people build content that can draw their customers and clients to them. So I'm doing it on WhatsApp. You pay into my account, you send me a screenshot, and your class begins privately. It's just 3,000 naira only. I'm doing it at a giveaway price because I'm aware that people are looking for what to eat, and there are lots of free courses out there. Though I've not seen a free course on animation, therefore I decided to put a little price tag on it. And I've been able to teach a few. Yeah, I've been able to teach a few. And I know from there it can grow bigger. And I know that if it weren't for the recession, I probably would have had more customers and clients. But because I understand what is happening, it's helping me to know how to navigate around what I'm doing. So there are other platforms where you can teach what you're doing. So let's say you want to sell out your course as an ebook. You can sell it on Okada Books. You can sell it on e-platforms like Amazon. So there are also classes you might need to have that you may not want to put into an ebook, or you may put into an ebook and you would also need to have a live conversation with them, or you need to have a discussion with them. So you can have a Telegram account, you can have Facebook Live, you know. So you can just have a private platform that can allow you to do what you can do. So all of these things I've told you about shows us, both you and I, that you can start from anywhere. I mean, there is literally no excuse for you. You don't have to start teaching on platforms where you have to be paying them $40 per month. No, you can start right where you are. So I was talking about a person who makes wig. I talked about it in my video, the YouTube video. This is why you need to watch the video. So I talked about a person who sells wig. Wig is a non-essential product, and it's very likely that your customers have other wigs, so they may not really prioritize buying wigs in this time. So, however, if they continue to use the same set of wigs they've bought from you, there's a tendency that those wigs may wear out. So, they may actually need something cheap or affordable to maintain those wigs. So, as a smart wig producer, you should begin to produce products that can help your clients maintain their wigs. So even if they are not buying wigs from you, they are buying products that can help them maintain their wigs from you. So instead of you being completely shut out from earning or making profits in this period, you will be earning something from the products. And make sure you are the one producing the product. So if you have to sign up for a course or school to learn products that can help people maintain their wig, you do that so that you can also make your money, because the things that are substantials don't come free. Even this class is free on me. I'm actually paying for it. It's actually not free because this is a class that is worth a lot of money, but somebody is paying for it. Lifesaver initiative is paying for it. It is being sponsored, and that is why it is free for now. It will not always be available for free because I'm offering value. So, a person like that, the wig seller, you get the product. If you have to go to a school, go to a school and learn what you need to learn on how to make those products and begin to sell it and make sure it is affordable. Because if you're trying to sell me a product of 5,000 when I've not even eaten, I would not even look at your shop because that is too expensive. So whatever you're doing, make sure it's as affordable as possible. And remember, your target is not just for a few people to buy. You want as many as possible customers to buy from you. So get a teaching platform and start up your course. There are other platforms you can launch your course on, more professional platforms. We have Udemy, that's a school. So there are actually courses that are there, non-conventional courses, but you actually have to pay to be on the platform. So, but if you cannot afford to start that, you can start with what you have now. So you just need to sit down, think intelligently, and do what you need to do. So, do you have questions? If you have questions, kindly send me an email. Look at your screen right now. That is my email address. I consult, but I don't consult for free. I can sit down with you and your team and can build you a very, very successful product, a very, very successful online course. Trust me, all I have said now, there is actually more to it. You've got to do a whole lot to be able to put this into something really concrete and something sellable. And that may actually require consulting. But if you need that, that is not going to be free because this is already free and it is actually not supposed to be free. So, having enjoyed this free part, the other part is not free. So, I've talked to you about the ways you can monetize online courses, the process it requires. I did not just talk to you about the ways, which are the platforms. I talked about WhatsApp, Telegram, YouTube, audios, ebooks. Those are 5 ways you can monetize your product. I was able to talk to you about the process you need to go through to be able to get your products monetized. So you've gotten double value for listening to me. So I hope you've actually learned 1 or 2 things. I'd like you to subscribe to my YouTube channel because once in a while I put out contents that can really be beneficial to you. Something you could have probably learned from a paid course. So if I were you, and because I know you're a smart person, I know you would subscribe to my channel. So thank you for listening. If you have questions, you can ask me, but if you need consulting, it's not free. So thank you very much. Bye.